You run a great team in our office at KW Clearwater, and you consistently are a top listing agent, even through these crazy times. So if you wouldn't mind, Jordan, I just started recording. If you wouldn't mind kind of giving a little bit of a overview of who you are and what you're doing, and then we'll dive right in.
All right, thank you. Jordan Myers, we have the Myers home team, Keller Williams, Palm Harbor. We have a team of 8, and we currently have, I've been with Keller Williams since 2013, and we currently have 42 active listings right now. And obviously we're working through those, continuing to get more every single day. And we all know that the world's changed here. So, and no one can predict how long this is going to happen in the future. And we understand that some people are more sensitive than others on, people coming into their house, right? So not even just us, but other strangers, people for showings, things like that. Is anyone else seeing that out there? Are we hearing that? So we know that, I guess I'm asking questions, but you're muted, Jess.
I muted myself, sorry. I said I'm gonna unmute everyone so people can speak up, but if it gets too crazy, we'll mute everybody.
Sure. All right, so a couple of things we're gonna go over today. Let's go over really the expectations, but like we're gonna go over challenges that we may have around this, even just getting set up, and then tips, mainly on how to. We're seeing more and more of them every day, and this may become the new normal, right? Of course, some people are still allowing people to come in their house, and maybe that may be the preferred way, right? Or the way we've always done it. However, this may be the way we're doing it forever, and what we're finding is may even be more efficient. And so my intention here today is to teach you how to make it efficient if you do have to do these, and or just ultimately, even if you go back to doing face-to-face, you can choose to do these however you want, no matter when. And then ultimately, we're going to go over, I'm going to do really kind of go through like a live presentation of really the steps I take and I've been taking here to walk people through to ultimately get the listing. So we're treating this just like a listing presentation, like you and I are sitting at a kitchen table, right? And it's kind of like, I was talking to Jess about this, it's kind of like really this close. Like when you're talking to someone face to face, it's computer to computer. It's really like a foot or two away, right? So to have that in your mentality that you are sitting at a table with them doing this presentation. Does that make sense? So a couple of things, I know some challenges around this are first being open to the idea that this may be the new normal, or this may be a new way that you're doing business altogether, right? So first, be open to the idea. Can this be done? Absolutely, yes. I'm here, a lot of agents out there, some are scheduling 5 to 10 listing appointments per day, all via Zoom. Okay, so this can be done, and it is being done. And then some challenges may be, right, our tech, the technology that we have, our setup, and not only ours, and the clients too. And so of course, those are some challenges to work out. And so it's a little different when we're scheduling the appointment to ask them now if they have these resources. And we're going to talk about some preferred resources to have during, like, the best practices, really. And then another good, on a free account, I believe you have 40 minutes to do a listing, to do really a video, right? So if you have a pro account, you can do an unlimited time frame. If you have the ability to, recommend do the pro account. If not, you got 40 minutes to do your listing presentation. So you can practice these as much as you could, just like anything, any script, anything you want to get good at, you've got to practice and do it. So if you've got 40 minutes, you got 40 minutes to land your listing. All right, so certain tips, and I'm always working on these as well. This isn't going to be about how to use Zoom or how to use computers or anything like that. This is really presuming that we have that knowledge, or if we need to get it, we can utilize it. Simple things, you know, just like we're doing any normal listing presentation. Look at the camera as much as possible, use their name as much as possible, make sure that they're connecting with you, you know, have as much background noise. And when you're setting that expectation, make sure they are in a place where they can have a conversation, right? And so I guess that goes for a normal listing presentation too, right? Then certain things you're gonna see me do here. What I'm doing is I'm preparing my computer, my presentation. I'm doing these on a desktop, or if you have a desktop or laptop, preferred. So you're stationary. However, if you haven't seen the house, there's a couple ways to prepare and ask them to prepare on their side as well. They can either take a pre-walkthrough video of their property, doing a walkthrough, mentioning all the things that make their home great, and then asking maybe later of pointing some things out that they may not want featured, or we may have to fix or replace or get inspected prior to listing. Or what you can do is have them be on a somewhat mobile laptop or phone and do the virtual walkthrough while you're there. You know, so they're walking around the house, they're showing you all the features of the house during that presentation, kind of similar to as you're walking around their house at the actual listing presentation. Challenges with that are when they're doing it on the phone. It's good for those reasons. However, then if a call comes in or something and it knocks them off of their video call, then you just lost your listing appointment, right? We want to eliminate some of those things from happening. So we prefer it to be on a device. Probably have them send you a video prior. The good thing about this is, especially if you're calling for sale by owners or expireds and you want to set up a virtual appointment, tell them you're going to have to email them the Zoom link, right? So you're automatically getting capture with their email and their information, and you can even have them have a form to fill out, like a Google form or something, to fill out all their information. So they're giving that to you prior. At the least you got their email to send the Zoom link. And then, so upon then, you can send them instructions. That's the best way we're finding here. Have clear instructions on what to send them, how to prepare, because some of them may be already using Zoom, right? Or some may have never heard of it. And if that's the only way they're willing to meet with you, or we can educate the public, right, on how to do that. Have a simple process of how to download it and how to operate and how to set up. So remember, just like anything, the clearer the expectations, the better the outcome. And all right, so upon there, so as we're preparing, of course, I always want to do a test run. Did a test run for this on my audio, my video, and really my computer and what I want set up. So I was really trying to match this exactly. Remember, coming from that mindset that I'm literally at the presentation. So what are my documents that I have with me there? And the order I go through them, I'm going to have them set up on my computer really the same way, as close as possible, right? Then, because what you're likely going to be doing, and what I recommend here, and I'll show you, is doing a screen share. So when you're doing a screen share, what can they see, right? They can see everything on your computer. So having those pages, making sure things you may not want seen, similar to like bank accounts and things like that, are all put away or minimized, or ultimately, if you've got an important presentation, clear everything else out and focus on that. You can always go back to it. And so if I can do I'm going to do a screen share here to start showing. So let me know if you can't see it for whatever reason. All right, so this is simple. What I did was I kind of prepared a couple things based on what I would use. So typically when I'm walking through a house on a listing appointment, I always have the MLS sheet, or I'm sorry, the tax roll printed out. Reason being, because I want to verify this information, right, of the property. This is, don't worry about this property, what it is actually active on the market. It's one of these from the comparables that I pulled. I just pulled this as an example here. The example we're going to be using today is 123 Main Street. So, however, we're walking through the property because just went through this the other day. There's a discrepancy in the for sale by owner on their square footage of the house and why it's different, and you name it, right? So I'm always walking through verifying here. And plus two, this is a company here, but it'll usually have the seller's name here. So if sometimes you happen to forget their name when you're having a lot of appointments, you always have their name readily available. So this is usually the first thing that's in my folder as I'm taking notes. I always have that up. And you can see certain things here like flood zone. You can like have those conversations with them. I find this as a good tool there. Just certain things if you need to go back and reference. And then, it's really, I know all presentations are different, right? So it's really how you, like, if you can mirror your normal presentation and what you have in front of people, all you're doing is it's just in a video instead of literally face to face. But as far as like you can see their face, it's face to face. So every time I have like an appointment, I'm like, hey, see you tomorrow, because you're literally going to see them, right? And just getting past this, I always I think this is even easier. I remember, I think it was my 4th listing I ever took. It was 2014. I called a for sale by owner on Zillow, and guy was in Georgia, had his property here. It was vacant. He had somehow had a combo lockbox on it. He said, yeah, go there, show it, look at it. And I'm like, oh, you're not local. He's like, no, I live in Georgia. And I had this conversation with him over the phone. My 4th listing, I was like a year in the business. And I took the listing over the phone. I was able to have a conversation with him and never talked to him before, and walked him through the process of, well, what we do to get home sold, why it's important to have a local agent here, and would it help him. And then he's like, well, yeah, I could see that. We started talking terms of a listing agreement, and ultimately he's like, you know what, I do need to get this sold. Let's do it. I'm like, okay. So then started walking through the process. We do everything through e-sign. I'm going to send you a document, and go through it, review it. We can set up a following call once I send you all the documents if you want to go through those documents. And however, he signed the listing, got it listed, got it sold. And that was my 4th listing in the business. I realized that was in 2014. So I realized that there's a lot of different ways properties can be sold. Like, I could sell over the phone. However, it's maybe best practice you sell face to face. However, with this May being the new norm, we can do this, and I can actually walk them through the documents. Not a lot of people, I don't want to make an assumption. Some people want to review their documents right before they sign anything, especially if you're just talking to somebody over the phone that you've never met. Though here, my intention for the video chat listing appointment is that I can review the documents with them right here. They can see my screen. I can, I'll show you here in a minute, like same thing for comparables. Well, yeah, this, this property is comparable, or this and that, whatnot. There's a property down the street. Like, oh, I'm literally pulling them up now, just as if I was handing this piece of paper to them over the counter. So then I just pulled our test here is 123 Main Street. I just did 500K in Palm Harbor. So I'm pulling the actives just like I normally would, actives, pendings, solds. I'm having a conversation around here around price. We're going through that process. I think the first, I think I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. However, first part is always finding out the motivation of the seller. So we're having a conversation there, right? We're asking them our typical questions. Why are you selling? When do you need to sell by? Why is that important to you? Finding all those things, what's important to you in an agent that you hire. And we'll go over a couple scripts here towards the end of the ways like how this can benefit them and what we're doing, as opposed to maybe what other companies are not doing. And especially for some people who are like, I'm not meeting with anyone, or I'm going to wait till all this is over. Well, asking, when's that going to be? Nobody knows. right? So it's all about their situation. We find out their situation. We're doing the consultation first, right? We always want to find that. If we have a really good idea of what they're trying to accomplish, that's the best way we can help them. This is getting into so that part doesn't change. But that's just all, we could role play that. But, so you're going through your process there to get your connection there, get your buy-in, and have your conversation. Once again, everyone does it differently. So some end up have a listing presentation, like a booklet or a binder. You may be doing it on a tablet or laptop anyway, electronic presentation. It's really no different. You're just pulling it up on the computer for them to see. All right, so then say we're past that point, just for time's sake here. We're past that point of the consultation. You're finding out their needs, and we're like, okay, we want to sell. We're downsizing or whatever, and we want to sell in the next 3 months. Okay, perfect. So then we're going through, okay, well, are you familiar with what's selling in your area? Oh yeah, I do know, or I don't know. Well, let's look. Here's your actives. We pull active, pending, sold. We're finding out your active is your competition. Pending, or is that competition you had that is literally now under contract. And we can have a conversation about the difference between the active and maybe the days on market, and let them know that we're watching this every day. We're watching our days on market, very important right now. And we're watching price reductions, because these prices as today, they may be different by the weekend, and which goes for any market, right? But then we're looking at pending. So these are the ones that are now sold or now under contract. And then these are the solds. This is everything that did happen. You may hear sometimes a seller say, well, the one down there sold for 500K. You'd be like, well, it was listed at 500K. It actually sold for 475. So you can still have these same conversations, right? And then if they have any questions specifically about, sorry, Jess, I'm not pulling the chat here. I have it on a different screen. If something ends up coming, you need to.
We're good. Everything is just comments so far, and then we'll wrap with questions. Make sure everything got answered.
So have you ever had a seller that said, well, my house is as good as that house down the street? So all I'm doing next to this is I'm showing them the comps, because I have a full script around this quick CMA of how to compare this information. However, they're like, well, I'm like, well, my home's as good as that other one. These are the same comps that are on that sheet. I'm like, okay, let's look how you compare. So they're literally just like you are right now. They're looking at this house and saying, okay, let's look at the features here. Let's look at the benefits. Is your house as, updated as this one? Do we need, like, how do we compare? And they're like, oh, well, I didn't realize it was that updated.
You know what's really cool about that, Jordan? It's like you're doing a virtual showing with them, to say, hey, how am I going to rate with what I'd have to go and compete with today if I jumped on the market right now? That's cool.
Right. Because we're, remember, the other script is, it's not that pricing at the lowest or not pricing at the highest, it's pricing it where it's going to provide the most amount of value in the eyes of a buyer. So if you do go on the market here at, say, right at 500K or 499.9, you are going to show up right here, because this goes by price. So if you're right here in the middle, then you're going to, and you're a 5.3 or something like that, you may appear like you're a better value to a buyer. And a buyer always wants the best bang for the buck. And so we're having having a conversation around pricing. Presuming you agree on a price here, then okay. Typically, I don't even really get into it a whole lot. A lot of people don't ask me necessarily what I'm going to do to market their home. If our general presentation, the presentation I use is really based off of the bold presentation that I think someone challenged me to memorize verbatim, and I did, and it's of course helped over the years. So I would definitely recommend doing that, because that presentation is designed to answer all the objections that you may have. So it's a natural progression of answering all their questions. And if you're doing a good consultation, finding out what they're looking for, and really have a good grasp of that, then, it should really be no reason that that they really, I don't know, I feel like they have a lot of trust factor anyway, then they don't really think they trust it, that I'm going to get the job done. I don't even have to explain really everything that I'm doing.
So I stopped your screen share for a sec just so we can see you, because we could only see the big sheet of paper. And yet a couple of people asked questions like, can people really see that contract? You can increase your screen size so that they can literally read line by line. So Jordan just had it in a normal screen size, but you could make the screen really big so that they could. And Jake made a great comment that you could also do dual screens if you get really dialed into this and you're working from home and listing property and doing one of those 5 to 10 appointments a day. You might choose to get a home setup that has that, just so it's super easy, and that you always have the different tabs that Jordan had tagged open, ready to go at any point that you could do a listing presentation.
Because I have a large screen, so it's large in front of me. However, if they are doing it on their phone, they may not be able to see that. So thank you for pointing that out. And then it's simple of, find the controls on your phone or make it bigger, whatever you want to do. Though, however, if I can take back the share real quick.
All you need to do is reshare.
Cool. So then, say you want to do a presentation that I ask you, or you work off of the like a command presentation. So this is, I already have. Can you see this on my phone? The middle things that are on my phone or on the screen here, like the Zoom, the Chrome. Can you see all this, or is that just me seeing this? Okay, it's probably just me. I don't know.
Only
However,
you. Only you.
So I'm just tabbing Control Tab or Command Tab, and you can switch between screens really quickly. Like I can go here, and I can quickly go back to that screen. Or I can quickly go here. So what I already have, meaning prepared. I already have my my PowerPoint presentation already pulled up in case they want to see it. Now this is just the blank example one from Command. Of course, if you don't have one of these, maybe good to go fill out, because people may want to see this. You may send your pre-listing presentation before then or whatnot. So you can go through some of this stuff with them, and if they want to see it, or if you feel it's going to help you in your presentation. Then what we would do, once again, you can go, you can switch between screens. Then if I'm getting to that point, right, where I'm starting to have, or they want to ask something else, so I already have like my YouTube link pulled up. This is a other property
We're not
that we
seeing
shot.
your YouTube link. We're seeing your custom marketing plan up on the screen.
Okay.
So you'll just want to see how you're sharing.
New share. Okay. I don't know why it didn't switch over here.
Here we go. Yep, we got it.
So this is.
So basically, you're going through your tabs at the top. We can, in this image, we can see the tabs at the top, but you just basically bounce from the left to the right for the flow that you have for a presentation. That's smart.
Well, like, hey, so what are you doing to market properties right now? Yeah, can you see this video right now?
Yes, we can.
So yeah, then whatever. This is just certain things we're doing right now to get extra exposure on properties, because if people aren't coming in, we're going to be able to say we did get this home under contract in 2 weeks.
You know what might be really cool, you guys, if Jordan doesn't have something put together, or if you guys don't have anything put together, would it be create a marketing piece that was like a flyer that showed the flow of what it would look like if you listed the home virtually? Like, how would the virtual open house go, and how would this go, and how would that go, and what would you be doing to prepare for that, where you had like video collateral and things like you're having. It would be kind of neat to put something together like that if you guys want to collaborate on that.
Perfect. Okay. Let's so then all I'm doing, it was supposed to be up, but I'm making this bigger just in case everyone can see it. So now, okay, so this is now I'm going into this. The purpose of our presentation is to get the listings signed. So I'm now, remember when like, you're ready to list with me, fine. Or if you've ever met with somebody and you didn't have a listing agreement with you, you're like, you know what, I'm going to send you the listing agreement by e-sign. Just go ahead and sign it anytime, and review it, of course, before you sign it, and then send it over. They're like, no problem, I'll get to it as soon as I get off work. And then what happens? They get home and you don't hear from them. You don't say, hey, I sent you the document. Did you get it? And then all of a sudden they may have a change of heart or cold feet or something. They never sign it. Has that ever happened? So.
Oh yes, I'm sure if I unmuted everyone, we could all clamor together.
Hopefully, okay, obviously this is just our listing agreement here. So I'm going through this literally with them as I'm sitting in there in front of them. So walking through, yes, you're the seller, 123 Main Street, today's date, 6-month listing agreement. You know, these are fast forwarding some of the conversations we've already had, right? And legal description, I think we all wish they were only this short and not 16 paragraphs. So now I'm literally walking through this document just with, you know, my script is how I'm doing it, rather than just sending it to them and be like, just read through it. Or if they have questions, I can answer them right now on the video chat or like on our appointment. You know, it's an exclusive listing between myself and Keller Williams, that we can't discriminate against anyone in the sale, the whole spiel, however you do it, right? And then walk through everything with them. Must provide free and clear title. You must disclose anything materially affects the value of the property. I will need a copy of your driver's license before we move forward here. Then ultimately, when I have their buy-in agreement, like, okay, let's do it. So rather than, I'm literally going to do it right here. Oh shoot, I didn't want to click out of that. Right here while I'm on the phone with them. So like I could go right now. I just made you as the seller here. I could literally go through and, okay, you ready to move forward? Great. Let's get everything signed off on and go. So I'm going to save and share with you right now.
Wow, this is cool.
And then, okay, check your inbox.
Oh, wow. So if I'm having troubles or I didn't know, oh, that's the email I click on, I can ask you these questions live.
Correct.
Very
so
cool.
Once again, I'm treating this just like a listing presentation. My intention every single time is to get the listing agreement signed on the table, right? So normally that's like we can do everything by e-sign. That is the one document I want wet signed right there in front of me when we're sitting at a kitchen table. And I want the same thing. My intention is right now, I can't wet sign it. So I'm going to send it to you but we're not getting off this call without you signing this document. Essentially is my intention, just like it should be on any other presentation. Then, so the way, and then of course you can go through, or if you need to go through a net sheet, I know a lot of us do. I use it as a sales tool. So they're like, well, let me know what I'm going to net on the sale. Okay, so then sometimes we don't know the price up front a lot of the times, right? So we have our other resources ready where we're going to be able to drop in the title insurance right away, drop in the doc stamps. Once you have these numbers here, you can do quick calculations. I end up doing them right on the spot at the listing presentation. So I'm going to do the exact same thing here. For time's sake, I won't go through all of it. But then, okay, your total selling expenses are going to be $40,000, and on a 500K, 40K, they have the property paid off. Your net is going to be $460,000, even by paying my fee, if that's an issue to them. Is that what you were expecting? Yeah, I can take 460K. I can put buy property 400K cash or whatever, 200, 300, 350 cash, down payment, downsizing. Okay, great. So that we understand this is just an estimate. However, yeah, so then we go right through that. I just shared that one with you. And then, so you can go through all these documents, either one by one with them. I had another, thought I had another page up here of whatnot, but escape out of that.
So you really have the whole process dialed down. I mean, obviously you're either starting with the walkthrough or you've watched the video that they've sent you. You're getting to the kitchen table. You're doing their needs analysis first and getting to know their motivation. And then you're going through your flow, whichever it is. Some people may start with comps. Some people may start with their marketing. Some people may start with the process, whatever your flow is. And then, but you're hitting all the elements of the flow. And instead of having a piece of paper that you're sliding over to me across the table, you're showing it on your screen, right? Correct. Did I miss anything?
No, that is perfect. Like literally, we want the purpose of our listing presentation. The purpose of our calls to set the appointment. The purpose of our presentation is get the agreement signed. I am getting the agreement signed. That is my full intention of meeting with them. This is the other screen that wouldn't pull up. So what I already did was, so I don't have to, you don't have to keep clicking back and forth on that dot loop in your link there, or whatever system we're going to be using in the future. So then I can go right through here and have all this information up. You don't have to keep clicking back and forth. Remember, it's all in the preparation, having it all prepared here, right? May not work perfectly, but do a lot of your dry runs. Our whatever listing, addendum to the listing agreement, the brokerage relationships, all those things you're just going to walk right through. I have them merged all into one document, so I can just simply go down here. This is your seller's disclosure. Fill out to the best of your knowledge. I can't fill this out for you. Only you, by the law, as a seller, can. If you yes, no, if you don't know something, like the whole presentation, your whole script process. If you don't have a script process, definitely train yourself to get
I
one.
think the homework from this is that we should all find a buddy on this call and go do a virtual listing presentation back and forth. For whatever property you want. It could be your own, it could be the one that your agent has, doesn't matter. But I think we all need to practice this and find our own flow.
Right. And so, yeah, all those things. And then once you maybe walk through them or had a conversation, or if they have questions on them, I'm definitely wanting to get the listing agreement signed on the spot. And don't worry, I'll send all these additional disclosures trickling through here. They're going to get, you see, obviously there's going to be several docs to sign, but we've already gone through them. So then all they need to do is go sign. Some clients already do that, right? However, and then, so if you notice, one other tip is my background. So especially if you're going to a for sale by owner, expired, withdrawn. Oh wait, this is actually a listing that we just took. We just had a photo shoot done yesterday. Tierra Verde, if you know anybody looking out there. However, what we can do, especially if they're already a for sale by owner, presuming they've already taken pictures, or there's pictures posted online. So I know some properties don't have pictures, or we can maybe do a drive-by or something and take a picture of the front. But I'm putting their property as my background on a for sale by owner, expired, withdrawn. So it's already been on the market, right? Something like that, where this is how I'm marketing your property. This is my third Zoom call of the day. I presented this morning. I had my coaching call an hour ago, and I'm on this now. And your photo of your property or your listing has been up marketing every single call I'm on. So it's a good way of like, I think, I've done that before with for sale by owners where we're doing a pre-presentation. You can literally show them. I can flip through different listings, and you can just constantly shuffle through to see to let them know, like, everyone I talk to, I'm marketing your property. Just another like tip.
Very cool. That is, who wouldn't be kind of just surprised by that? And let's just be honest, if you had no photos, but they were pre-doing that video for you, that walkthrough, like showing you their house, you could ask them to take a few pictures of their favorite parts of their house, and then you could use those as the background. You can even change it as you go. That's cool.
That's like the most of it here. Of course, there are intricacies that go into a lot of this, and I'm more than happy to role play it with anyone to get the bugs out, get it out as much as possible. I think things may go to normal at some point, right? We kind of all know that and feel that. However, if it takes 18 months and we're like, oh, this will be done in 2-3 months. However, but if this is an 18-month thing, which no one knows, right? And there's projections that it is, this may be the new normal, and to be okay with that and be prepared for it. So you have a competitive advantage against other people who can't figure it out or aren't willing to. And you can go on 5 to 10 appointments a day quickly and take them. And I don't know, I think it's exciting. So hopefully this has been helpful. Is there some questions that came in, Jess?
Yeah, there's a couple, and I just wanted to announce that Jake taught a class on for sale by owners earlier today, because that's going to become a thing again. Expired listings and for sale by owners, we're going to see creep up in number because we're seeing a market shift. And the other thing you're going to see is a lot of inventory. So it's kind of a race to list right now for any serious listers. So for those of you that may have not had the confidence before to market listings to their database, get over it now, because I'm telling you, one of these great agents would also help you do this if you aren't ready. I'm sure someone would co-list with you if you're not prepared for this. So don't let this intimidate you. Yet this may become the new norm with part of our inventory. Some people will not want anyone in their home, but they'll need to sell. You know, Keller Offers is an option with that. However, they may want more of the money. They might be needing the money. And so the convenience fee for an iBuy might just be too big for them to swallow. And so they will want to list traditionally. And you guys need to market that you can do this today. So I think we need to create a marketing piece that you guys could just get out there. Like this is another option you have if this is if it's an important time for you to sell. So just make sure you're aware of that. And I'm going to say that if you don't go practice with someone in the office, you're crazy, because you don't want to practice on your first appointment. Because I saw Kelly had a good point. She tried doing a Zoom yesterday, and, you know, it kind of got held up because people didn't know how to get on, and people didn't, you know, have the right permission. And so one of the recommendations I'm going to add, and Jordan, you know, comment on whatever you think. I feel when I'm going to do a Zoom training or anything of consequence, not just a quick chat with someone, but like it's going to be a meeting or an appointment, I'm going to ask them to get on like 5 minutes early to work through the kinks of teaching them how to click on the left side of their screen to turn their volume up or whatever they might get stuck on. And when you set up these appointments, you can actually in the setup turn off like password required, and you can turn on that your participants audio and video is already turned on. You can make it really easier. And what I do is I go even a step further, and I bought jessicafoxcoaching.com, which all of you clicked on to come on. For every one of my meetings that are appropriate like this, where anyone's open to come on, I just use that because it's easy. So you could go to GoDaddy and buy a really cool URL like jordangetsemsold.com or something fun, you know, and just be like, this is all you have to do to get on. Because if you make it that easy and you don't complicate it with security passwords and you got to sit in the waiting room beforehand, if you like kind of clear out the clutter of Zoom, the meeting, it's going to be easy for people to get in and not be held up. So just, those are just a few thoughts I had when you were going, Jordan, of just getting that set up. So you want to practice, you don't want to practice on your first appointment. And, you know, here you got Jordan offering to volunteer to role play with you. I think all of you should go find one person to go role play with and mess up together and bump into things like, how do I get my screen to do this? Another thing I'm going to recommend is I'm going to ask Andrew to do another more advanced Zoom class next week. So we'll get something on the calendar. And again, if you're not making it, just like for those that didn't make this, we're going to post it and pin it at the top of our Facebook group for about a week so that you can circle back to that whenever it might mean something to you. Because I feel there's so much meat here, and yet all you are going to have a little bit different flow, because some of you are actually just going to come list me's. Some of you are doing the full dog and pony show. Some of you are still trying to find your flow. But yet I love that you shared that the elements, the critical elements are the same. I thought that was really cool. I love Jake's idea though. If you are going to do this as a regular thing, like this is kind of your new thing, getting dual monitors is really a great way to do that. So let's answer questions. Donna Suhaki, can you unmute yourself and share your question? Donna?
Okay, so I asked a question, and then after I asked it, I wish I could have taken it off because I'm sure the answer is no. But you know, I just thought, like, if you're on Zoom with them, going through the documents, could you do a host in-person signing?
Donna,
Probably not.
I tried that for about 3 hours the other night. I had multiple computers up because here's how I prepared. I did my host, and then I asked myself, I sent it to a different email. So I logged in. So I was in 2 different accounts, and I was literally trying to do that hosted in person to share my screen or make that person a co-host. Every way I tried to do it, I couldn't get the in-host to click. It like, you can do a annotations, though I was trying to give that person remote control of my computer and it wouldn't click on the button. So that's why I made the choice to walk through the document with them and then share it with them on the spot and wait for them to sign it. Or be like, it's in your inbox now, go through and sign it. I did try that. I thought that would be the simplest thing as well. And there still may be a way. If there is a way, I will do a Zoom recording screen share of exactly how to do it. I tried for 3 hours and I had to walk away from the computer.
The second part of my question then would be, is that legal or is that a questionable?
Well, I think maybe record the screen at that point, record the call. So it's like proof that they are going through and signing it. Or yeah, if you're concerned about that or you don't have that ability to do it.
I think if we had Ginger talking right now, she'd be like, nope, don't do it. So I think from a liability standpoint, I would trump this and say, don't do it.
Yeah.
Because that kind of breaks the rules of electronic signature and the whole purpose of it.
I wondered about that. That's why I asked.
So, you know, the other thing I thought of, Jordan, while you guys were talking is, you know, how cool would it be, you guys, not only get them to do the walkthrough, you know, preview of the house, because that's, you need to see it. But what if you convince the seller to do a little video about why they love living there? You know, about the lifestyle, about traditions of the neighborhood, or about, you know, that you can see dolphin almost every night at sunset, you know, all those things. And if I was more shy and I didn't want to just do a video, you could also interview them. Because, you know, if I'm not real comfortable just talking about what I love there, you know, you might just host it like this, Jordan, just with them and say, so tell us what you love about this property. And what a cool thing to add in to the virtual showing that you might put together is really give this house a heart. And people looking virtually, boy, are they probably going to connect with something like that more than anything. Just food for thought. I thought that would be kind of a fun idea.
And the craziest thing just happened. So my power just surged at my property. All the power just went out. My computer turned off. Everything went out. So can these things happen? Yeah. Now I am on my phone now, and I don't. So some things you can't prepare for. However,
we're losing.
Do your best. At least we got to be prepared as best as you can.
Well, and here's the thing is people are giving each other grace. I was actually doing a recruiting appointment with Nikki this morning, and this woman's dog kept like coming up and just like sniffing the camera, and then she had a cat, and I'm like, and she's like, you guys are gonna think I'm crazy, like I'm the cat lady or something, because she had another cat, you know, and that's, I think, that connectivity that you have, kind of when you laugh together, you'd be like, oh boy, here we go, you can't figure out how to get online. You know, if you handle it properly, people just connect with you even more. So it's kind of ironic that in this really bizarre time of being disconnected, we're craving community and connection so much that, you know, when you're more yourself, and it's not like a perfectly poised presentation, it's more human, someone's going to connect with you more than ever, and anyone's going to give you grace because we're all going through this together. Jordan, questions that came up to me privately, like what are your big, if you're able to still hear us and you're still on, what are your biggest objections that you're getting that you're having to handle? Are you there? Yep, you're there again. So what are your biggest what are your biggest objections that you're having to overcome? Is there anything new, or is it pretty much the same objections about commission and price?
Those are always going to be there. So always be prepared for those. However, the new ones are, I want to wait, I think the main one is I want to wait till everything goes back to normal. Well, are you, like, how certain are you that things are going to go back to normal? One thing is I'm saying is the normal as far as going back to restaurants may be normal, right? We may but with airlines losing $60 million a day and hotels like that are really vacant right now, there's going to be a long-standing economic impact that is going to outlast the getting back to our kind of somewhat daily lives, right? So hence it's all about their situation. I'll say on the example I gave for a $500,000 house, like, hey, like that's my bottom line or whatever. Like, okay, are you comfortable? This is remember the 4 quadrants: negative present, positive present, negative present, sorry, positive present, negative future, positive future. So it's still walking through the same thing. Are you okay with selling your property? You absolutely have to sell it by the end of the year. Are you okay with selling it for $425,000 at the end of the year? I know there's no way I can sell it for that. Okay, well, the longer this goes and the longer those airlines, the longer those people are out of work or people are losing their jobs by the day, I'm concerned for you that if you don't sell it now
for we can get close to this price, we're seeing that is like the market value, that you won't have a choice but to sell it for $425 later. Let's do the right thing now and sell and list it now.
And now they have the lowest amount of competition, where we know, when all those people wait and sees hit the market, it's going to be a flooded market.
You got it. Got the listing for it. So it's so some of those, trying to think what else.
If you guys have questions, start chatting, because I think we hit most of them. I'm reading through it. I see a couple from Scott and a couple more that I'll bring up.
Yeah, the main objection was the reason why we're having this call in the first place. I don't want people in my place. So okay, no, no, call me when all this is over. I had the call the other day, and he hung up right. I wanted to call him back and say, hey, how do you know when this is going to be over? But it's really, remember, it's always about their situation. That's why the consult is still always the most important thing. Finding out what their objective is and what's the best outcome for them, always.
So Jake shared a really great script in the chat, the COVID showing taking it off the market, and then showing instructions on how it's going to go, setting expectations. Download those before the call's over, because I won't be able to retrieve them later. So I highly recommend that. Jim Harrington would like to borrow the orange car for a hot date tonight.
I took a ride in yesterday. It's awesome. Yeah.
What kind of car was that? That was pretty cool.
They're both Lamborghinis. So
nice.
Scott, that's his small.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah? Is that a yes?
I'll do it. Hey, if you would bring a buyer, I'll take you in.
I understand. Okay.
Scott Hood says, is there a set of instructions available somewhere that can be sent to a seller on how to set up the computer regarding camera audio? I don't believe there is, but I think it would be really smart for us to put one together along with the marketing of the virtual process. So I'm going to put this on our to-do list for you. Getting prepared for your first Zoom. How about like something like that? Prepare for a Zoom. Let me put something together.
I do have an appointment. I've already had appointments. However, it's only going to make our life easier. And so, like I say, I'm going to put one out. If you put one out, we'll get the best practices and combine it, find the best way.
I love it. Scott, did that answer your question? Good. Okay, I'm looking through these. Anybody have a question that I didn't answer, because I may have missed a few in the chat and I don't want to miss anybody. If you have another question, please unmute yourself and share it to us. Meanwhile, while we have anyone chime in, I really feel we need to practice. Who wants to practice? If I set up a practice session, what I have are called rooms, where I could like divvy you guys up and you just even practice, like even an objection handler, or explaining how it's going to be different virtually, whatever you guys are up for. If you guys would like, I can set something up for next Thursday or next week. I just need to know if someone's going to show up besides me. So if you have interest, please reach out. I'll put a post on our Facebook page. And if you want to participate in any way, I'm going to even propose times. You guys just let me know and we can set something up so there's enough of you that are willing to practice and play along with each other. Maybe we'll just set up for like an hour and a half and do some objection handlers, just even start building a flow, because I think we all just need to get a couple of these under our belt, and I'd rather practice on each other than practice on your first at-bat.
I would love to have someone to role play with.
Yeah. So if you guys won't mind, after this, I'm going to go. I've got one appointment at 1:30. I'll have probably enough time to pop in. I'll quick put a post on Facebook and just raise your hand, say I'm in, and I'll put something together. Is there a day next week that would be better, like Tuesday or Thursday? Next Thursday at this time, I'm going to do a buyer consult. Oh, look at the puppy. I'm going to do a buyer consult for this, like virtual buyer consult. If you guys could do something before or after, what would be best? Any feedback? Or I'll just kind of pick what's open. Okay, we'll just play it by ear. Now, I will let you know that if you are interested, I'm just going to show you something. Kevin's still building the calendar, and this is why. Because we don't want to trump on what Keller Williams is doing for you. So if you go to KW Connect right now, I just want to show this to you in case you didn't know this. Just by going to KW Connect, you'll see that in 8 minutes, there's a class about finding motivated people. Like, what does that conversation for a buyer or seller look like? What you'll also see is that at 4 o'clock today, we have another person going through virtual listing presentations. And then Friday being Good Friday, we have no events. We don't know what next week looks like. So that's why Kevin and I are trying to kind of wait till they get ahead of us to post what we're going to do so that we're not doing things on top of each other. So just know we're working on that. We're a work in progress. But please go here and check some of the stuff out. And anything that was recorded in the past is right here. So for example, some of you probably could really benefit with, you know, dealing with objections. Here's the objection handlers, you know, mindset, whatever it is that you're looking for. If you want to be part of the Shift Book Club, all the recorded tactics and strategies are here. Some of you really may benefit with learning how to bulletproof the transaction right now. Because if anything in your pipeline's falling apart, that's the class that's going to teach you how to keep it together, specific to COVID and all the stuff that you're going through right now. So just wanted you to know that's all available for you. We're here for you, and every day at 8:30 in the morning, you can join jessicafoxcoaching.com for a little mojo, and next week we've got a bunch of featured guests. So today's, there's nothing tomorrow for Friday because, you know, it's Good Friday. And Donna, I see your hand, so I'll call on you next. But just know that if you go to Jessica Fox Coaching, 8:30 in the morning, we'll have a couple bucket fillers and some ideas for you to keep your business rolling. Donna, if you want to unmute yourself, you're next. What do you have to say?
I believe I'm unmuted, and I just wanted to say that in case anybody needs a little mojo for Saturday morning, because I know a lot of us are working on the weekends, that we are having coffee. The link will be on our KW Palm Harbor page on Facebook. I believe it's at 10 a.m. I need to iron that out with
Melanie?
Melanie. Yeah.
Perfect. Yep, you guys are keeping the mojo going, ladies. I love it. You know, that's what we've got to do, guys. You got to have a purpose every week, or it feels like this is just like you're in the twilight zone. We all are in this together. And you know what? You're going to have some weeks that aren't as good. I figure week three and in the beginning of 4 were my low points. I'm feeling like more energy with week 5 around the corner. We got Easter and all that to look forward to. So I love you guys. If there's nothing more, I'll wrap this class. And here's what I'm going to challenge you to do. Go to Facebook, say I'm in, and I'm going to get a practice role play session together so you all have someone to practice with. You may not know who they are. Who cares? Let's just work out the kinks so that we can get this dialed in. And Jordan, I really appreciate you. So thank you for sharing today. And so many ahas. So this is our new norm, guys. So get ready.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Jordan.
you. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.